Well, Mr. Speaker, if there was a capability gap under us, it would have been found in the ATIP, the access to information request that came forward that said there were 0 documents about a capability gap. And we know that the Liberals invented this capability gap to give cover for the Prime Minister's naive election promise. And they used this fabricated gap to justify the purchase of rusted-out Australian jets. Now, the Auditor General report was perfectly clear. These used jets will not meet Canada's international military commitments. Will the Prime Minister follow the Auditor General's advice and cancel the purchase of these old, used Australian fighters?
The Honourable Minister of National Defence.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the member for his question and his passion for support of the Canadian Armed Forces, but I want to quote the Auditor General's report, and I quote, "Having a combat-capable fighter force is important to Canadian and national security and to national defence's ability to meet Canada's commitments to NORAD and to NATO," Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that's why we have launched a full competition to replace all for our fighters, Mr. Speaker, and not 65 fighters Mr. Speaker, that the previous government asked for, 88, because that's what's going to be required to meet our commitments, Mr. Speaker, and we are making commitments.
Order. The Honourable Member for Selkirk and Lake Eastern.
Mr. Speaker, the Auditor General clearly pointed out that over the last 3 years, pilots have been leaving in droves because of that minister's mismanagement. Well, Mr. Speaker, this proves that the Prime Minister and the Liberals have been playing political games with our Air Force. He is willing to spend billions on trying to upgrade jets that are falling apart instead of investing that money into a new fighter fleet. And the Air Force can't even recruit enough pilots because they don't want to fly these old Australian fighter jets. When will this Prime Minister be honest with Canadians and with the Air Force members and cancel this purchase of obsolete Australian jets?
The Honourable Minister of National Defence.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank again the member's passion with support for the Canadian Armed Forces, but when Harper Conservatives were in power, when the member was a parliamentary secretary of national defence, at that time did not support the proper investments in the Canadian Armed Forces. Hence the reason why we were in this situation, Mr. Speaker. That's why back in 2016, Mr. Speaker, the Canadian Armed Forces, as we directed, to start recruiting more pilots, Mr. Speaker.